was a bit gung-ho. A bit devil-may-care. Good evening, Birmingham.
Good evening.
Is it all going well?
Yeah.
Good. I'm going to open with a bit of poetry to start with, because I think it's that time of the evening. I do this for mainly 3 reasons. Number 1, I'm a pretentious middle-class ponce. Number 2, wherever I go, I like to think that I spread a bit of culture. I don't know whether you get culture that this close to the city centre, but I like to go and spread a bit of culture. And I like to think, by saying my words, my poems, you take a bit away with yourselves, and it stops you committing crime, or whatever it is you normally do on a Thursday night. I'm like a poetic Batman, basically. So, I also do this because I use it to introduce the topic I'm going to talk about, so that's why. Here we go. Oh, by the way, none of this rhymes. It's not one of those rhyming poems. I'm not going for the cheap poetry. So I'm not pointing out specific people, but some of you may need to sort of pay attention and try and keep up. Some of you look thicker than others. Peter took Kate by the hand, stopped her by the canal side, and turned her face to face his face. He looked longingly into her eyes for a bit, and then Peter leaned in and pressed his lips to Kate's, and she allowed this to happen. There is a side note here, it just says, this is a consensual kiss. They do actually go on to have full consensual sexual intercourse at one point. It's not documented in this poem. You must know, it doesn't end well. I mean, she runs off with an architect from Holland, and he shoots himself on a campsite in Shropshire, but back to happier times, eh? As they stood still and embraced, their world continued around them. They heard people passing them who find it quite an inconvenience, if anything. This was a busy Saturday. Their lips were one, their eyes were closed, and their ears weren't involved in the kissing process whatsoever. But they could hear, as people talked about boring crap. And from a pub doorway, a rather common man shouted something incoherent at them, along the lines of, "Way, give it one for me, you soft cock!" Peter didn't act on this then. And in the distance, they could hear, as a dog cocked its leg and pissed on a tramp. That poem's called Love in Britain, and I hope a lot of you can identify that. Give me a cheer if you haven't been in love.
Yay!
So give me a cheer if you've never been in love. Oh, there was one sort of, it wasn't really a cheer, it was like, at the back. Don't worry at the back, it's not your fault. You're just a terrible person. I want to talk about love, because I've been thinking about love and relationships a lot recently, because basically in my family, my brother and my sister, they've had children, and not together. If that had happened, I wouldn't be here telling you about it. If anything, there'd be a family meeting where we're sitting them down and just going, "Well, this isn't on." They've had children with their respective partners. And basically what's happened in my family is basically I've sort of been knocked down the pecking order for attention. So everyone sort of fawns over the kids and fawns over the parents of the kids, and I get sort of left out. So now I know exactly how Dre felt when everyone forgot about Dre. There's a lot of you here that sort of get that joke. There's some of you who don't sort of understand it a bit. What it is basically is it's a reference to the rapping song "Forgot About Dre" by Dre from the album 2001. For those of you who don't know who Dre is, Basically, he's this doctor in America. He gave up the medical profession to become a spoken word hip hop enthusiast. He talks over fat beats with his friends. That's PH fat to you. And I identify a lot with Dre. There's still some of you who aren't getting the Dre. There's a little. This is quite a Dre heavy set, guys. So those of you who just go home and Wikipedia him, and then the jokes will come flooding back. It'll be fine. So yeah, I identify a lot with him. Although obviously I'm white. I'm sort of in Britain. I'm middle class, but I was state school educated, and I'm straight out of Melton. Another Dre reference for the NWA days. That one. Come on. But yeah, I feel sort of like left out a bit, and I don't understand why. I've never really had a good relationship. I've never been successful in a relationship. All my relationships have only ever lasted for about 6 weeks, and I've never understood why this was. And I've always thought, like, what is it? So I've obviously gone back and sort of looked at something's obviously gone wrong along the way, and I've looked at my childhood and looked at my parents, because obviously they are the model of relationships to most people. And unfortunately, my parents have never been good together. In fact, my mother has always abhors all sort of human physical contact whatsoever. Her only ever advice to me when I was growing up regarding relationships was, Richard, don't hug people. Hugging was invented by and for desperate girls, and I don't want you to be one of them. Which is fine. I've succeeded in not becoming one of those things, but unfortunately, guess which one has crept in. And my father wasn't very good either. So when I spoke to my father and said, when you get to that sort of age of trying to sort of woo a partner, I said, Dad, how do I woo a partner? He told me, first of all, don't use the term woo a partner. That'll be a good start. How do I try to take someone out on a date, try to seduce them, that sort of thing. When you're sort of asking those questions around the age of 22, 23, my dad just simply, his advice to me was, have you tried giving her a signed photo of your penis? No, I hadn't really crossed my mind. It's fine. Have one of mine. This is obviously fine until you have to show the goods, and then they realised what had happened and said, "Can I have your dad's number?" But it's the little things I noticed with my parents' relationship. Although they weren't good together, there was little things that I noticed. I mean, my dad, he had one of those pocket diaries, those digital diaries that were all the rage in the 90s, and his password for it was Claire, which I thought was really nice. It's a password is something you like to try and keep secret to yourself. A lot of people just make them up now with numbers and stuff, but back then it meant something to you. It was important to you. Now it's your password, and his password was Claire. It was lovely. I thought that's something he holds close to his heart. Would have been better had my mum's name been Claire, but unfortunately her name's Joy, which isn't a viable password then anyway. So if anything, it's her fault. But this is a true story that I realised this. I saw this when I was about 7. I saw my dad's password, and we were all in the car at the time, and I thought it was really it's why my dad, I know my dad's password, Everyone's going, oh, go on, what's his password? Everyone asking around, and my dad just panicking going, no, don't say anything. And I said, it's Claire, which I've now come to look back on, ruined what would have been a lovely day out at Leeds Tropical Centre and my parents' marriage. There's other things that I don't really understand about love and relationships. There's a lot of people say things like, oh, I'm really terrified of dying alone. That's why I'll cling to anybody who comes near me. I'm scared of dying alone. I don't want to die alone. Just don't let me die alone. And it's just like, it's okay, Mum. It's all fine. Dying alone, I think, is the ideal. I mean, if when I'm dying and people are still hanging around, more fool them, if anything, when I die, I would like to do it like Badger out the Animals of Farthing would. I like to just crawl into my burrow and leave Toady to explain to all the other animals through his tear-strewn bulbous eyes what had happened. But I did actually manage to get into a relationship. While I was thinking about this thing, it was great. I started getting out with this girl, and we didn't have that loads in common, but we seemed to work quite well. It was really good fun. But then it got to about 6 weeks into the relationship, and she sort of turned to me one day and said, "Actually, Richard," she was doing a master's at the time. Said, I don't think this relationship's going to go any further because I'm going to go finish my master's abroad. I'm then going to go work out abroad, and I don't think we can do the long distance thing." And I was quite sad, but I thought about that phrase where if you love something, you can let it go. So I did. But then I found out that she got back together with a boyfriend of hers from about a year before, and he just left me in a spiral of depression, where I just thought, I bet they're out there, somewhere, having fun. I bet he's whisked her away for a weekend in Venice, and he'll propose to her on a gondola in front of loads of tourists, and her middle-class manners will be too polite to say no, the jammy shit. And then you'll be there, on her hen do, crying about how happy she's going to be for the rest of her life, while her stripper waves his pornographic cock in your face. And you'll be there on his stag do, snorting coke off a hugger's tits in Prague. And you'll all be invited to the wedding, all in some mansion house in Oxfordshire, or where you're sort of bathing in champagne and eating caviar out of hollowed out pineapples. All the time, whilst I'm not invited, because apparently it'll be awkward. So I'm at home, instead, in the dark and comfort of my wardrobe, tears splashing into my naked lap, as I furiously masturbate to the memory of someone I once loved. So I sent her all this in a text. And just said, "Why have you done this?" Smiley face, lol. And she didn't reply for a few weeks. And then I eventually received this fax. Still use them. Which just simply says, "Because you're a cunt." So I'm going to finish on two things. I discussed something earlier with my friends in the pub. It might not work here, but I want you all to sort of promise me something. Is anyone going on holiday this year? Yeah. Good. Where are you going? Dubai. Excellent. Perfect example. Okay. So now I want us all to do this from now on. When anyone says wherever they're going, if it's outside of the UK, I want you to all, and it's just to make other people look twats in other countries, just sort of go, so, "Oh, where are you going on holiday?" Say Dubai. Let's try that again, okay? One snappy answer, right? "Oh, where are you going on holiday?" "Oh, I hear they've got really good food out there." I think, definitely try, I've heard it's really good there, try that soup with an egg in it. And just hopefully, people will be going out to Dubai, turning up and, "Oh yeah, I've heard about this soup with it." There's anyone, you can say anything about any destination, people just believe the shit, and just like, "Yeah, try the soup with an egg in it." Just wherever anyone goes, everyone's got to say that and try and get people turning up to other places going, "Oh, I can't remember what's called, but that soup with an egg in it?" But if anyone does have a soup with an egg in it, come back and tell me where that was from. So I'm certain it does exist somewhere. So I'm going to end on a little poem because that's who I am. This one's one of my more mature works. You just find it. Yeah. It's from my later sort of period, my later sort of proses. Once again, no rhyming, but there's a lot of hidden meanings in this one. So, touch me inside my pants, said the actor to a bishop. The bishop, disgusted, hurried away in a diagonal fashion. But he was taken by a queen. That one's just called Gay Chess. I'm Richard Quarmby, thank you so much.